1st of December marks the end of our 6 months recalibration journey. In the beginning, we didn't have much of a choice but to make change to our business. As the new BEA, we used what we had to first encourage others to be who they want to be. Be a communicator, be a leader, or be an inspirer, as long as they can be the very best of themselves. Then, our team of BEA Influencers helped us create video conversations that provided inspirations, as well as mental and emotional support to industry professionals. We are taking a 6-week break starting today so that we can reflect on our past actions, rest our minds, and get ready for 2021. Before we reflect on a collection of conversations we produced over the past 6 months, we'd like to say to our influencers a huge thank you for your contributions. And to you, our community, thank you so much for your support.
As the world gradually plunged into lockdowns by the second quarter of 2020, uncertainty became one of the most prevalent sentiments. The future was uncertain, and brands scrambled to modify their communication strategies to adapt to the new normal. Thanks to the collaboration with Site Thailand, we kicked off the new BEA with a webinar that brought together communications specialists in the industry to talk about effective approaches to building strategies and relationships with the media.
As people are adjusting, it's very reactionary. It's very off the cuff. And a lot of the marketing that we're seeing coming through is not going through the normal channels. It's quick, it's a bit scrappy, and it's very fast.
Besides getting the right brand messages, event companies also had to pivot to virtual to survive. WeTake of brand activation agency Pico shed light on how to invest in the right event technology.
You need to go back to the why, all right? In terms of why this engagement came about.
And Women of Marina Bay Sands gave us his thoughts and advice on the future of the industry.
The future of business events is bright because of one very simple reason. We exist as a platform to facilitate our client communities to meet, transact business, transact knowledge.
In August, the industry was experiencing waves of retrenchment as a result of diminished cash flow. Many were inevitably thrown back into job hunting. We spoke to Andrew Chan of ACI HR in our Future of Work series to find out the core competencies and skills that other industries are looking for.
What skills did you draw upon, or what skills have you developed that enabled you to do that job? And as a result of those set of skill sets, what were those achievements? And I think that really sort of needs to be listed down. And a lot of people are very lazy and they just basically cut and paste their job description onto a CV. And that's probably one of my pet peeves.
And Kerry Healy of Aircore discussed the transferable skills needed to survive that confronting period.
I think it's important to really think in competencies. You're going to need to work out what can you bring with you, whether it's your leadership skills, and within that your emotional intelligence, your critical thinking, your time management. These are universal skills.
We also spoke to Nita Lakmandas about the challenges that businesses face due to the pandemic and how to outlast crippling times through transformational experiences.
People are looking for transformational experiences. People are looking for an experience which almost changes them. You know, it's a bit of that epiphany moment.
What stood out for me the past 6 months was the heartfelt conversations on women supporting women. Amelia Rosimond of Business Events Sarawak shared her personal journey of empowering underprivileged girls from rural villages in hopes to break the poverty cycle.
And as I grew older, I realized that the one and only ways to break the cycle of poverty is to equip myself with the necessary skill and knowledge, education, to get to where I wanted to be. You know, as they say today, you have to be a hustler.
And Kate Sivet shared how to build a safe and trusting work environment for women and navigate difficult conversations through honesty, integrity, and empathy.
By having other women supporting her and giving that tap and saying, you did a job well done, I think goes a long way in building confidence and that trust within the industry.
To support the World Mental Health Day movement in October, BEA introduced the Mental Fitness to Leadership Conversation series to glean best practices on building a resilient mind to tackle challenges. When it comes to managing stress, Eileen Sia of MBS gave a perspective on where the focus could be.
Everybody talks about work-life balance, but to me, I think work-rest balance is even more important, because
great advice.
If you don't have that restedness, you don't have life.
Jess Chen of Let Brand Singapore talked about how mental fitness and creativity go hand in hand.
People tend not to want to be creative. There's a fine difference between are you creative or are you not, or do you want or do you not? And simply because there's a lot of fear.
And MCI's Oscar Zarazales described mental fitness as a creative space in the mind, not chaos.
When I'm on a bike or I'm running for a lot of kilometers, you know, and not for hours, it helps me empty my mind. And I think that to me, mental fitness is all about empty your mind rather than bringing new ideas or content.
No matter how our conversations have evolved over the past 6 months, our connection with each other remains as important. This is what Damien Bruce said about managing COVID-19 back in June, and we think it will remain unchanged until it is safe to travel again.
But I think for me, it's always around communication, and I don't think we can ever communicate enough. The boundaries around the world, particularly this whole COVID situation, you know, things are changing on a daily basis, schedules, all sorts of things. But I think before the trip takes off is that how do we sell it into the client and sell it into the participants so that there is that confidence there.
We hope that a vaccine can be available soon so that borders can open again. We hope that you invest in building mental fitness so that you can be the best version of you. One thing we know for sure, we will meet again. Until then,
Be well.